What if the biggest limitation in your life is not just circumstances, but a program that was written when you were a child? Most of us think our thoughts are our own, but often they are shaped by moments in the past. A comment, a fear, a loss. Maybe someone said, "You're not good enough." Or there was some moment when you felt unworthy and abandoned. That moment is how a locked human is born. But inside us also lives another possibility, the unlocked human. The one who is the master of your mind and creator of your reality. Yet, most of us live with this power locked and switched off. Today, I want to talk about the unlocked human, the human potential that we forgot to use. Human beings are incredibly powerful beings with unlimited potential. We're embodiment of love, creativity, purity, compassion. Yet somewhere between childhood and adulthood, something changes. What we see, what we hear, what we feel in our earliest years, at home, in the school, in society, becomes programs and beliefs that later shape your thoughts, your behavior, and your identity. By adulthood, instead of being the master of your mind, you become its slave. We look for happiness from the external environment, from achievement, from validation, little realizing that you have the key. And the most disempowering belief we inherit is, my life is controlled by something outside me, other people, circumstances, destiny, karma. The moment you believe that, you surrender your power. Let me share a story about a locked woman. When she was a month old, her father died. When she was 7 years old, her mother left home to become a nun. She got bullied at school. She had a very difficult childhood. But for the love of her mother, she made a silent decision that I must be strong. I must not fail. And then she kept that promise. She worked hard. She succeeded. She made her family proud. She looked like an achiever and powerful from outside, but inside, she was torn. She was carrying rejection, sadness, resentment for reasons even unknown to her. And then at the age 40, she was diagnosed with endometrial stage 3B cancer. That woman was me 12 years ago. For months, I lived trapped in pain and fear. And I wondered why me? I'd been a good human being. I didn't smoke, I didn't drink. Why? Why me? And after months of isolation, one morning I stepped out, climbed a hilltop overlooking Thimphu Valley. And there I sat in deep meditation and I asked, if life is all about death and birth, why are we here? Is life even worth fighting for? No answers came. But as I opened my eyes, the world revealed its magic. Sunlight poured over Thimphu Valley. Birds sang. Prayer flags danced in the wind. And there was this cool gush of wind breathing through me, awakening me anew. And my inner voice said, life is beautiful. Right there, I realized life is indeed beautiful and worth fighting for. And I decided that I will live, not just to survive, but for a purpose far bigger than myself. And then I wanted to delve deeper. And what I discovered after that changed everything. Sometimes an illness can be connected to an emotional imprint. And our programming begins the moment you're conceived in the womb. When you're in delta brainwave, the stage that leaves lifelong imprints. So during inner work, I accessed a memory before birth. When my mother was 3 months pregnant with me, my father had a terminal diagnosis, and he wanted her to abort the pregnancy to spare her suffering. So in the womb, I absorbed my mother's fear and sadness. And I developed resentment towards my father, and I formed a program that I am unwanted. And while in meditation, I was transported back to the beginning, into the womb. Images and sensations surfaced. And then I wasn't observing it anymore. I was inside it. My tiny body froze. My hands and legs were paralyzed. There was dense weight of fear and terrorizing. I was crying for help without words. I was fighting to exist, standing at the edge of existence. And at that moment, I realized this was not a memory, this was an imprint. Because I was reliving that moment, the sensations, the emotions, I was actually experiencing it. And then I saw my father, not as a villain, but as an overwhelmed human, afraid and helpless. And I realized I had a choice to stay frozen in that moment or to release it. And then in that trembling moment, I said, I see you, I feel you, I release you, I forgive you. The moment I made that decision, something shifted. The tightness loosened, the paralysis dissolved, and I felt like a deep release of years of stored tension leaving my body. And then when I opened my eyes, the room was the same, but I was not. I had unlocked a human. And in unlocking myself, I made a profound discovery. I learned that all of us have this power within. A power that can release the past, rewire our mind, and shape our future. Most of us carry frozen moments, unresolved fears, traumas, limitations, fears that keeps us stuck in the past, that it even affects our future and even the present. Today, many of the world's problems persist because humans remain locked. And locked humans create locked societies and locked children, because what remains unresolved internally appears externally. For instance, a child that grows up in a violent home may repeat those patterns as an adult unless the cycle is broken. Failing once and being called a failure could have an impact on the entire life, and we don't even question if that is the truth. But here is a shift. What shapes us does not define us. We have the power to change what we carry. And when we transform, we stop, we break the cycle. Because when one human unlocks, the cycle begins to break. This effect also ripples outward. Wars, global conflicts, divisions, social issues all often reflect these patterns. When leaders carry unhealed wounds, millions are affected. When individuals carry them, your daily life is affected. Research shows that fear-based thinking narrows perception and fuels division. So when many operate from unresolved fears, societies become reactive, not creative and compassionate. But when we release the past and step into our power, we awaken our true potential. Imagine if millions in this world unlocked themselves. Fear and limitation will no longer unconsciously guide our choices and action. And happiness would become more natural for all of us. And when you unlock yourself, you don't only help yourself towards happiness, towards peace, towards contentment, but you actually transform your life positively. And when you do, it also has an impact on lives around you and the world we share. And the future of humanity will not just depend on power and politics, but it will also depend on how many people choose to understand and awaken this power within themselves. Because when we rise beyond our limitations, impossible becomes inevitable. Nations thrive when individuals rise. And when humans awaken, we all rise. So unlocking is not just personal liberation, it could even lay the foundation for societal, global peace, progress, and happiness. And unlocking can begin with a simple step. Being open to this possibility, setting the intention, and following the guidance that comes through. You can even start by noticing your automatic reactions to anger, to sadness, and ask, is this coming from a present moment or an old emotional wound? That small pause will start to change everything. And when you're in doubt, go within. Find your answers, find the solutions. Because you are all-knowing. Trust yourself. There is no greater power than the one inside you. So don't forget to unlock that key. The key is already in your hand. And watch how your life, how your relationships, and how your world transform. All the challenges that I've overcome, all the experiences, my learnings, have led me to this moment. And in having shared with you, I feel the reason I survived and my purpose in life has been fulfilled. So I thank you and Kadinche.